Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Ralph Michaels and Dave Koken of WagerTalk.com. We're talking SEC football action here. We got Texas A&M at the Auburn Tigers. This one in Jordan-Hare Stadium with the Aggies, the road team, laying a full touchdown on the road here, Dave. Looks like 49 being the total in Jordan-Hare. This is a series that was dominated for quite some time by the road team. You think the Aggies get it here by more than a touchdown, Dave?
Well, one thing to factor in right away is that Nix, the Auburn quarterback, he's like a pitcher in Major League Baseball who's got that home-road split dichotomy where they're really good at home and really bad on the road, or vice versa. In Nix's case, he's been really good at home and really bad on the road. But outside of that, there's not a lot I like about Auburn here. They are not in good form. I used Auburn as a 5% play 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, and I made no bones about it. I got lucky in the game to get that one in the win column. Needed a 100-yard pick six and then a 50-yard field goal in the last minute. And that was against the Tennessee team that has a lot of problems. That was not an encouraging performance. They had the Iron Bowl matchup with Alabama last week. And, well, let's just say Auburn wasn't very good in that game. A&M, meanwhile, is coming off a game where they won, but they weren't at their best doing so. And if A&M wants to impress the committee as maybe that fourth team, if things fall right, they need a good performance here. Obviously, they have to win the game, but I think they have to win impressively to boot. I'm a little more in tune with looking for teams with extra motivation at this point. And I think from a motivational standpoint, it's got to be all Texas A&M here. I'm not sure what Auburn has on the line mentally in this game. So while I think the spread is right based on the power ratings, I like the emotional edge, if you will, on the A&M side. I would look at the Aggies minus the points if you're going to play this one.
Makes sense there, Dave. And Ralph, what about you? What are you thinking here with the Aggies and War Eagles squaring off on Saturday?
When I looked at the game, guys, I said, well, I do like A&M in the situation. There was a lot of wind and rain in the LSU game, so having the 267 yards and only scoring the 20 points didn't concern me as much. You look at the Auburn team, this Auburn defense has allowed over 440 yards 5 times this year. This Auburn team is getting outgained by 93 yards per game. Those are Kentucky-type numbers. So, you look at it overall and you say, well, Bo Nix, a 10-7 ratio, not playing well. Kellen Mond, a 16-2 ratio. We've seen that the DC for A&M Elko finally has them playing some legitimate defense. And, we see Jimbo Fisher in his third year with his 17 returning starters playing well. But, the end all, even though when I get to A&M and I say I like them, I reeled myself back in and said, well, let's look at the power ratings. And the power ratings simply said A&M by 2 or 2.5. So with that much of a discrepancy in the power ratings, that's that final check for me. Yeah, do I like A&M when I walk through the situation? I have them, but the power ratings are going to reel me back in. So I certainly lean A&M, but my power ratings keep me from making it anywhere near a play laying that much on the road to Auburn.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky handicap here. And Dave, just last point to you quickly. Do you think there's anything to a home road dichotomy with a certain player, especially at the quarterback position in football, or did
absolutely.
you just use that?
Why not? If it exists in baseball, why wouldn't it exist in other sports? There are goaltenders in the NHL who are much better at home than on the road. I think if you go through NFL quarterbacks, you'll find some who play better on the road than at home. Basketball, I'm sure there's some players who have home road splits the same way. Absolutely, it applies. And look, there's no denying the almost spectacular splits between on Nix between his home performances and his road performances. They're night and day. So he's comfortable playing at home, and that's something you have to factor into the equation here. There's enough reasons, despite the fact that I gave some pluses up for A&M in terms of the motivation. What Ralph said about the power ratings, mine are a little bit wider than that, but not that much wider. And the fact is, the public already knows everything I just said about A&M. So that's why I might lean that way, but this is not a play that's going to make my card.
Good stuff, Dave. And Ralph, did you have anything in closing?
Yeah, one thing I will say about the home road splits, home is Kentucky, Arkansas, LSU, Tennessee. Road is Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina. So a lot of that is with the level of competition.
Well, but last year as
All right.
well. He was much better at
Fair
home
enough.
last year than this year. So he's comfortable at Jordan-Hare, not so good when he has to travel.
Good stuff from both Dave and Ralph. Check them out, WagerTalk.com. Also, guys, you see it there at the bottom of the screen. We got the Cyber Week special, not only Cyber Monday, this whole week. Cyber Week special, less than $100 a month for the next 6 months. Handicapper of your choice, full service there at both websites, WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com.